Hello, my name is Kyler Templeton, and I am entering this competition for cable TV's MCU movie marathon. And just kind of want to introduce myself on that one, and I'd love to be considered for this competition. I have been an avid movie fan for my entire life. When I was in college, my nickname was Netflix because, for the most part, I could recite movies off the top of my head, from movies that I had seen when I was a kid, and could quickly be able to recall a lot of good stuff about them, a lot of quotes, and just really enjoyed movies. Movies included superhero films. Superhero films have always been a big part of my entire life. Growing up with all different kinds, whether it was Marvel, looking at any other type of brand in DC, and I have always just enjoyed watching those movies. Regarding Marvel, I've been watching those movies really ever since the first X-Men movie came out. And obviously been following the MCU since the beginning of it, with Iron Man 1. I remember watching that for the first time with a group of my friends, and never seen anything like that. The aspect of a man as a superhero coming out to the world saying that he was Iron Man definitely sits with you. Definitely a memory in the back of my mind that you can never forget, especially any type of movie like that. And obviously, that's what started it all. That's what started this love for these movies, as well as any type of these superhero movies, even the TV shows. I've been an avid follower of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as well as Agent Carter, and including all the one-shots that you can find online. And it's just one of those deals where I can recall that. I love watching all those movies, all the TV shows. I even like reading all the comics. Definitely been reading those in my downtime to get kind of brushed up, especially on certain storylines. Whenever I'm not at work, I usually spend my time watching these movies, these TV shows, or even like reading blogs or articles that are online, anything that kind of comes about, YouTube videos, something that really says something about these, especially looking at all the little Easter eggs. I love all the Easter eggs. I definitely like to, investigate in those. I like doing my own investigations. Sometimes I even consider myself as a part-time movie analyst, especially allows me the chance to really discuss these type of things with my friends. And speaking of my friends, these movies have definitely opened up an entire universe, no pun intended, regarding the movies. But the friendships that I have been able to build and maintain over these long, now 11 years stance with the MCU films, it's now being able to increase our communication levels and letting us be familiar with one another. We become closer. Not only do we watch these movies and talk about these movies and TV shows together, but we've now gotten into where we're a lot closer and really involved with each other's lives. And that's something I really appreciate that these movies have allowed me to do. These movies, there's always that bit of anticipation. The anticipation for the next one. But whenever that one movie comes, it's an event. And I like to treat it like an event. I know my friends do as well. The event, you get a chance to potentially see that thing opening night, which, let's be honest, I do. A lot of people do. But I make sure that as best one I get to that opening night show, because the fear of missing out, FOMO, as they like to call it. I don't want to be that guy showing up on Monday or Friday, especially Friday at work, and not knowing what was going on. I want to be able to sit there and start talking about these movies and loving the conversations that I get to have with my coworkers, even that I get to have, and my friends, and being able to recommend these movies. Not only do they have like the superhero aspect of it, but the real life situations and stories that they like to tell. I really get to enjoy those chances to really promote that, and that's what these movies help me allow to do. I'm not opposed in saying that I have delayed personal plans. I've had to, say, hey, I'll be there tomorrow. I'm a little busy tonight. I'm going to go see this movie. The whole chance of me being able, that fear of missing out, I don't want to be that one who misses out. I've been to midnight premieres. You know, I've been to the earliest ones I can see on that Thursday. And I'm not opposed to being at that midnight premiere for whatever 2.5 hour long movie, sitting through all credits, mid credit and post credit scenes. The little Easter eggs that I mentioned earlier, that's what these chances they get to give you. They give you that little bit of extra excitement. And that's what I love about them. That's what keeps me invited, and it keeps me wanting to be around them. Personally, about myself, I work in the public school system. The one thing about these movies is that I actually have not without bragging, I like to be able to integrate some of these movies and some of the storylines that these comics and movies be able to really tell. And I get to integrate them into my lesson planning, which blows my kids' minds because they can't believe that I'm this much into these movies, but I can't help it. I really am. All these movies have been able to help out. I can find little bitty things and be able to integrate them into my lessons. And then again, I'm working with kids. I'm working with high school students. And so it allows me to relate to them. Heck, they go see the movies too. And that's great because I'm not saying I've been the one to influence them, but they do know that when they're around me that I'll be the one to talk about these movies. And I'll talk about them in depth. You know, obviously, with a bit of a lesson included, of course. But being able to throw that into this casual conversation, sure, I love doing that. And that's what I really love about these movies, is because not only has it been able to entice my love for movies and superhero movies, of course, but it's helped me to help reach out to this younger generation and be able to say, you know, yes, these are superhero movies, but there's a story with them. And that's what these things get to do. And I love being a part of that story and being able to share that story. So I would love to be a part of this competition and be able to sit down with all these movies before we end up in the end game. Thank you for your consideration.